Reinventing the Sustainability Industry. One Community Weekly Progress Update, number 673.
One Community is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We are creating open source and free shared blueprints and resources, tools and tutorials, and do-it-yourself instructions for highest good living. Creating solution models that create additional solution creating models in the service of all life on this planet. This includes highest good approaches to food, energy, housing, education, for-profit and non-profit business creation, society, and true earth stewardship.
Hello and welcome back, amazing people. My name is Jay, and this is our February 9th, 2026 edition of our Weekly Progress Update. And thank you for following our progress. I appreciate every single one of you. Today, I am going to talk about reinventing the sustainability industry, and this will be a more specific conversation than I normally have. I usually talk big picture, and this is really going to talk about the details of reinventing the sustainability industry because it's not something that anybody else is really talking about. And we have a strategy for doing that we think is unique. I don't know of anybody else doing this in the world, and so I want to really talk about those details. So from a big picture perspective, everything you see happening in the background of this video is what we're creating as the foundations for reinventing the sustainability industry. But the specifics of how we intend to reinvent the sustainability industry are what I really want to focus on. And so to understand this, the first thing to understand is the big picture of what we're creating, which is we are taking the physical foundations of sustainability, which are food, energy, and housing. Pretty much everybody's familiar with those. And we're combining them with the emotional foundations of sustainability, which we have identified and like to call highest good approach to fulfilled living, education, economics, and stewardship. And we're putting all these things together to create teacher demonstration communities, villages, cities, and hubs that will support reinventing the sustainability industry by providing a service and a platform that is better for consumers and it's better for the industry and manufacturers and better for the planet, because the whole thing is created with the mentality and the psychology to the best of our ability to create and live for the highest good of all people and life on this planet. And the way we're using that and designing it to reinvent the sustainability industry is to take these teacher demonstration communities, villages, cities, and hubs and look at how we can stimulate the sustainability industry by clearing away as much of the red tape as possible and by looking at how we can maximize sustainability in all aspects of the human experience. So in the case of food, the idea is to grow our food, as much of our food as possible on the property, obviously without pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides, the most common three poisons that are sprayed on our food, on conventional food nowadays. For our energy infrastructure, we're building obviously sustainable energy to eliminate people's power bills and potentially even make money off of your energy infrastructure, and to be able to do right by our pocketbooks while also doing right by the planet. In the case of housing, we are creating open source and free shared plans for the 7 different sustainable village models that you see demonstrated on our website, with the idea to teach people exactly what it is that they need so that they don't have to pay for these plans, the basic design plans, and they can evolve all of that and make it more interesting, more beautiful, more artistic. And so this is a great example right here. So the food, kind of obvious how we're stimulating the sustainability industry there, is like to show people what they need to do to grow their own food and to be able to support anything that's related to that that's sustainable. So heirloom seed companies, we're doing the research on the most sustainable companies for purchasing your tools and equipment and materials for both food, energy, and housing, so that people can make the most sustainable choices out there, and so that the most sustainable companies have an organization like ours that's not associated with them, that has no direct relationship with them, that is doing independent research to identify who the most and verify who the most sustainable companies are, what the most sustainable products are out there, and to support that and to point people to that information, say, hey, this is the research we've done, and this is how we've graded all these different things. And we've already done this for toilets, urinals, we've done this for paints, primers, adhesives, we've done this for faucets, flooring, insulation, and a whole bunch of other stuff as well. And so in doing this, we put out there objectively how we've objectively analyzed all these different products, all these different industries, all the different companies that are out there. So not just the products, but also the companies producing the products, and said, this is exactly how we have analyzed them to determine who is number one. Who's the most sustainable company in the world? What is the most sustainable product in the world? And hopefully those two things hopefully that product comes from the same company, but if not, we've identified that as well. In doing this, we're reinventing the sustainability industry by creating an open source tool for consumers as well as companies to look at and see how we are objectively analyzing the sustainability of their products as well as the company as a whole. So that's just these areas right here. And in so doing, we're putting the power in the hands of consumers. We want to take that to the next level. We want to take that to the next level with these teacher demonstration hubs, with the idea being, once we identify, say, what is the most sustainable company that produces toothpaste? Once we identify what the most sustainable company that produces toothpaste is, and we have built one community to the point where we have 500,000 people, 2,000 people living on the property, continuing to do this research, continuing to evolve our open source plans to create more and more content, to create more and more versions of what it is that we're doing for people to be able to replicate and build off of, we will have the ability to work directly with these companies and say, hey, we'd like to order you're the most sustainable company we found on the planet for toothpaste. We would like to buy your toothpaste, for instance, from you if it's something we're not making ourselves and teaching people how to make ourselves. We'd like to buy it from you by the barrel. So you're going to save the cost of packaging, the cost of working with distributors and grocery stores and whatever vendors are the price. So you have the distributor, you have the provider. We're going to cut out all the middlemen. We're going to work directly with those companies and say, we will buy this from you at a better price than you're selling it to these companies and covering the shipping and everything. So their profit margin would be higher. Our cost would be lower. We would eliminate all of the packaging and waste that goes along with that, along with reducing the carbon footprint, because we would be shipping direct from the factory directly to us, and we'll be setting that up as a model that can be replicated by every other teacher demonstration in the world, teacher demonstration organization in the world as well. And so once we establish these relationships, now we can start creating these direct-to-consumer purchasing opportunities where they're large-scale volume purchasing, like a Costco model, only instead of having it shipped to a Costco, it would be shipped directly to us, and we'd be buying directly from the company and paying them more than they would get paid any other way. And we would be being able to buy it at a cheaper rate as well, because we'd be cutting out all these middlemen and creating these direct lines of purchasing. Ideally, with barrels of toothpaste that we could just send back and have refilled, or that we would be reusing on the property for some other purpose. So imagine doing that for as many aspects of the living experience as possible. And that's just, tools, equipment, and all the things that we use on a day-to-day basis. Same thing for something like housing I was talking about. We create open source plans. We create open source step-by-step instructions for how to replicate the housing. And now with those open source plans and how to work with the county, how to work with, and to get your plans permitted, how to work with all the different regulation bodies, etc., now that you have that understanding, now those people can take the money that they would have spent and had to invest in basic plans, and instead spend that money and invest in architects and the same engineers that they would have had to pay a whole bunch of money to create the basics, and instead create next level, more artistic, more beautiful, more interesting, sustainable structures. Reinventing the sustainability industry by providing those basics and allowing the architects and engineers, which I've worked with hundreds, probably over 1,000 at this point, which they love to do more anyway. They don't want to spend their time designing the basics. They want to be creative and create beautiful, amazing structures, that just are mind-blowing and artistic and awesome to look at and even more awesome to live in. And in so doing, by creating that, people get excited about that. And thus the sustainability industry is forwarded by that whole idea. And so this is what we are looking to do. And same thing for the food. We're creating recipes on how to prepare these foods that people might not have ever experienced. Foods that you can't buy in the grocery store because they don't have a long enough shelf life, because you have to eat them fresh. And people want fresher food. They want healthier food. So why don't we give that to people? And again, in so doing, reinvent the sustainability industry. So I'm running out of time. Those are the details. Those are the specifics. I could say this whole thing about fulfilled living, our education model, which is built on the most progressive and revolutionary education models in the world as well, about our resource-based economy and economic models, highest good economic models, and the stewardship model that manages all this. They all overlap. I would suggest visit our website if you'd like to understand this. But this is how we're reinventing the sustainability industry. One section at a time: food, energy, housing, fulfilled living, education, economics, stewardship, but all together, because they are not only interrelated, they are interdependent. And so we're touching on all these different areas because we see them as so crucial and so foundational, and our goal is to make it easy enough, affordable enough, and attractive enough so that the idea will spread its own, creating a viral movement of people working together, building teacher demonstration communities, villages, cities, and hubs around the world, and leveraging that and working directly with companies, working directly with people, showing them, putting the power in the hands of the people, and working directly with companies to empower those companies to be able to, again, have a way to large scale sell directly to people in a way that reduces carbon footprint, reduces packaging, increases the value or the earnings per unit for the company, and decreases the cost per unit for the individual, and does right by the planet at the same time. Win, win, win. So if you're into this kind of thing and you would like to help out, visit our helping page. If you would like to support us, we would love it if you donate to our project, because we're an all-volunteer organization. That helps us out as well. Subscribe to our newsletter if you like a weekly dose of positivity delivered to your inbox each week. You can do that on our website. Of course, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, to any of our social media accounts. We're on all the different social media accounts to make it as easy as possible. Check out our blog if you'd like to see exactly what our all-volunteer team has created within the last week and what we're up to. And of course, visit our website if you'd like to see all of our open source tools, tutorials, resources, do-it-yourself instructions, and plans for everything I'm talking about. And stick around and watch to the end if you'd like to see bullet points on all the major components of our project. And this is how we're reinventing the sustainability industry. Thank you so much for watching, and for watching the end. Until next week, we will, of course, keep on keeping on. Thank you.
The one community approach to highest good housing is eco-artistic home building that is affordable, sustainable, do-it-yourself duplicable, resource and space efficient, and consists of 7 different sustainably constructed village models. One Community is also creating an open-source duplicable city center. It is designed to be LEED Platinum certified, provide 12 guest rooms, dining for over 150 people, and laundry and recreation space for over 300 people, all while saving money, time, space, and resources. One Community's approach to highest good food is duplicable almost anywhere, scalable for different needs, more biodiverse and nutritious, part of forwarding a global open-source botanical garden collaborative, and includes 9 different free, shared, and duplicable growing environments. One Community's approach to highest good education is designed for all age groups, adaptable to any schooling environment, inspiring and fun for all participants, includes national standards, all subjects, lesson plans, teaching strategies, learning strategies and tools, classroom design, and more. The One Community approach to highest good society is globally focused, individually enriching, cooperative and collaborative, includes a highest good network and application, 4 different economic models, and combines fulfilled living and true earth stewardship for the benefit of all people and all life on this planet.